Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back again. Episode 188 coming your way. Got a fun show here again today. MJ is back for round 2 of 4 with our NFL previews. This week we head to the AFC and NFC South. Discuss some interesting divisions down there. So we got that coming. Before we get there, if you guys could, you know the deal. Please rate, review, comment, share, and subscribe. It's very helpful. And, just want to say thank you to everybody, as always, too. Like, I really appreciate all the watches, the listens, the support. So thank you. Don't forget, we have the merch shop out there. You can get one of these fine-looking hats in that. The link will be in the show notes. Below, there's also all sorts of shirts from both myself and MJ with the Full Range podcast stuff. And don't forget to check him out on Spotify at the Full Range podcast and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Week 2 of the NFL preview brings MJ back. MJ, welcome back yet again. Second time here in 2 weeks and with a couple more to go.
Thank you for having me.
Always, buddy. Always.
Yeah, man.
We are, how are you?
I'm great, man. I will preface this little segment of your show today. There's a lot of noise in the house right now. So if anyone hears big, loud, like stomping or a scream, it's just my kids. They're getting ready to go to soccer practice here pretty soon. And it's like maniacs running around. So apologies.
I think I've heard you say, oh, there goes Boomer. I think I heard you say it before too. You're like, you think you hear all this noise and then like the mics and the system, like cut it out. Cause I'll go back and be like, oh, I wonder how loud that was. I can't hear it at all.
No, I know. And it's really good, but it wouldn't surprise me if how loud they're being right now overtakes all of the coolness of the podcast stuff. But all right. But no, everything's going really well. I'm excited, man. I got to watch some preseason games yesterday, kind of on and off all day, which was exciting.
Was it that exciting? It wasn't exciting for me.
No. I really try, and I know exactly how you're feeling because I was just about to say, watching the Cowboys, like here and there, they would like peek in on the NFL Network to that game once in a while. I wanted to take back the 10 wins that I had them last week on the pod. Like I was like, this team is just mid in so many different areas. But I try to I'm like, okay, most of it's not starters. You know, I get the Rams definitely are a deeper team, which we'll talk about probably next week and stuff. But like even like your Packers, I knew nothing was going to be great.
That was the A guys out there. That was the starters minus just a couple. And in the first 2 series, they dropped the ball like 4 times.
Yeah. It's early though, and you just try to remind yourself.
Bill and I had the Packers bitch fest text chain rolling in August for the first time, I think, in a long time.
Well, and he's been sick too, so he was probably just like sitting there watching it. That poor guy. That probably didn't make him feel any
miserable
better.
Already.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Well, we got the Souths today. Yeah. You've requested to start with the NFC South. I realized I forgot to do this last week. The night, the evening, the lateness got to me. I like to usually give a rundown of their records last year.
Yeah.
Buccaneers won this division last year, 10-7. Falcons were 8-9. Panthers and the Saints were 5-12. I don't know that I realized this last year. The Buccaneers ranked 4th in points scored per game in the entire NFL at 29.5.
Yep.
I knew they had a solid offense. I didn't know it was that good.
29.5 points last year, 4th in the league. It was a good offense. And to me, I don't mean to, if you were going to say more.
No.
I think it's improved, this offense. I think over the course of the draft and the offseason, you know how I am about Ohio State, but I don't think, even just trying to be as even as I can and non-biased as I can, Emeka Egbuka's, I love that guy. he reminds me so much of like a Hines Ward type player. And I'm not saying he's going to be Hines Ward where it's going to be like maybe a Hall of Fame career, but just like if you watch him
that style.
When we did the draft process, man, I fell in love with him even more in that process than watching him on my favorite college football team. Like I knew he was really solid. You know, he had some injury stuff in college a little bit, but like the ability to go out and block as a wide receiver, he's so willing to do that stuff, and he goes about his business. He doesn't really care. He doesn't seem to be that typical diva wide receiver. He just wants to win, and he'll do whatever it takes. And he reminds me of like a kid that grew up being a coach's son, and I don't know if that's a thing or not, like if he had been or not, but I really like him. And to think that he's possibly the fourth best receiver right now on that roster is incredible to think about. Because a lot of teams would take him probably as their 2 right now in the league. So
I really wanted him to fall to the Packers. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he got a lot deeper than I thought he was going to in the draft. But I think he's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like just sticking with the offense, though, man, I really like this team. You got Mike Evans, Mr. Reliable 1,000-yard seasons. Chris Godwin, when he's
going
healthy,
for the all-time record this year, 12. If he gets it, he passes Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Granted, a little bit different day and age of football, but like still very, very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, then you still have Chris Godwin when healthy. He's a touchdown merchant, man. Like he's going to go out and just ball. You got Jalen McMillan, who flashed a lot of times, especially when Godwin was kind of out a little bit as a second-year receiver. And then you bring in Egbuka. You still have Cade Otton at tight end, who had some really great games in Tampa Bay last year. And then, like, you still have Bucky Irving, Rashad White's still there. They just brought in Teddy Bridgewater, I think maybe within the last 10 days as kind of like a third-string depth behind Kyle Trask. The offensive line is good. Wirfs is a really, really, maybe not underrated, but really good left tackle in the league. Like, this offense doesn't really have a hole. And to me, they still have Baker Mayfield, who's kind of ascending into that like top 12, top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Like, I don't know if I love Baker as much as some guys when it comes to like some people might rank him like the third best quarterback in the NFC, which I think is a little high for me. But like, I think he's solid enough. Like this offense, the ceiling on this offense is probably beyond what I think it can be. But like this is such a good offense. They're going to win a lot of games, especially in this division.
Mm-hmm. I think that's another thing is that this is a poor division overall.
Yeah.
And
young division.
I think it's better than maybe people think, but it's not the strongest. So I think they work on us. And they got Hassan Reddick too. We'll see what he had kind of a down year last year. Dealt with some injuries, I believe. But if he can, I mean, he's only 30. I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, I
might be a couple of good years in the tank for him there.
This is for Tampa Bay my only question, and I kind of broke down the team breakdown stuff a little different this week. My only question for this team is, can the defense return to just average? Mm-hmm. And I wrote down they gave up 22.9 points per game last season. They were a little injury ridden a little bit throughout the year. But about 22nd in the league on defense. For them, I think this year, if that defense can get stay a little healthier and get closer to average, like if they can finish the year around like 13, 14, 15th in the league on defense, this team, I think, could really make an easily run for the division, but like could surprise some teams in the playoffs. And like they're not going to be an easy out, especially if they can get like a home game or two. Mm-hmm. Like I think this is a really good team. Yeah, obviously, they have Vita Vea, Levante David. They brought in Reddick. A healthy year from Winfield Jr. in the secondary, I think, really helps them. So my biggest question mark is, can the defense just go back to being average or above average? And this team can really, really make some noise. I have them winning 11 games this year. I think 11-6 is fair. I love the over. I think the over-under on their FanDuel thing was like 9.5.
I'm seeing 9.5.
Yeah, I love the over. And I don't think the schedule, when I remember, and I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think the schedule is like overly difficult. And a lot of teams in this division have some easier roads. So I really like this team. I don't want to spoil anything, but they're my division winner at 11-6.
Yeah, they got a couple of tougher games. I mean, Rams, Bills, Lions, Eagles. So I mean, there's some tough ones on there, but like also the Jets. They do play the Texans. We'll get to them in a bit.
Let me ask you something though, real quick. The one that popped out, like I would say, I think the Bills probably are a team that is better. Are the Rams and Lions that much better?
I don't think the Rams are. Like, I would actually say the Bucs are a better team than the Rams.
I think so too. I think it's closer with the Rams for me. I think they're right now, and I know we haven't talked about the North. I think they're right now better than the Lions.
Wow,
I do.
Wow,
I think there's a lot.
Hot takes.
I like the Lions a lot. Like, I think they're still going to be good, but like they had some weaknesses. I think especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like I don't think the difference between the Bucs defense and Lions defense is that great, but I think the Bucs are slightly better. And offensively, I think if you tell me the Bucs are going to play really well on offense and the Lions are going to play really well on offense, I think that's almost even.
You could get me there.
And to me, I think it's
I don't
more
know if
likely.
I'm there yet, but you could probably work. You could probably talk me into it.
So I mean, I think this team could be a third place in the whole entire NFC.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Bucs schedule. October 20th at 6 p.m. So that'd be 7 p.m. your time. What the day is October 20th? That there's I
don't know.
Is game at just
Monday?
7 p.m.
No. Is it a Monday doubleheader? Maybe.
It could be. It's a Monday, so yeah, I bet you it's a doubleheader.
Yeah. But I really like this team, so I think they win the division relatively easy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree with you 100% there. They're winning.
Yeah. And I think there's only one team that is in the conversation, and we can talk about
Falcons,
them next.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. 3 questions for me.
7.5 is the win total there, is the over-under.
I think that's pretty spot on for me. I have a question defensively for the Falcons. So if you're a Falcons fan, you probably know this already. Where's the pass rush? That's exactly what I have written down. They ranked 31st in the league last year in sacks and pressures.
You must have read. Did you read the Athletic thing?
No.
Because I have as a cheat sheet, I have an Athletic.
I did have the Athletic, but I don't anymore. I don't have a subscription to it anymore.
This is a free one, and the first question for them is key question: do they finally have a pass rush?
Yeah.
And then the first line in the more on it is Atlanta ranked 31st in sacks in 2024.
Like,
so get hired at the Athletic. They need you.
Well, I don't know about that, but I like Jalen Walker as an edge. James Pierce, like. I just think, like, where's it been? Like, I feel like for a little while there, maybe 10 years ago or so, like, the Falcons always had some good pass rushing, like, had some guys that could flash on defense. Maybe that was the Dan Quinn effect when, maybe when he was there and stuff too, is what I'm remembering. But, like, you got to be able to pressure the quarterback, especially if you're going up against, Baker, who can move a little bit, and you got some other teams. I got to see it. And with the young secondary, that the pass rush is going to be extra important. Like, if you're going to throw out some younger guys, and I love Jesse Bates at safety. I love AJ Terrell at corner. Like, I think those guys can really play. But at some point, like, you need to get early pressure on that quarterback to help those guys out because it's an offensive league. That's my biggest question.
That this year, Jalen Walker and James Pierce in the first round.
Yep. And
then signed Leonard Floyd, again a little bit, a little older now.
Yep.
But not crazy old. I mean, high draft pick, number 9 pick back in 2016. So, I mean, they went out and addressed it. And if they can, use those 3 and kind of cobble something together out of them and, get a little something. I mean, it's another thing where it's like, it just has to be a little bit better. Like, it doesn't have to, like, just improve.
Yeah. And, like, I love those 2 players. I think those are really good draft picks. But at the same time, like, do you want to hang your hat on 2 rookies to come in and make that big of an impact this early? And typically they say it takes 2 or 3 years for defensive linemen, edge and interior, to really like find their way most of the time. And of course there's always exceptions. You get like somebody like a Will Anderson Jr. who came in as a rookie and really did well. You get somebody like a Micah Parsons or the Bosa brothers or something who came in and were already outstanding. Myles Garrett, another one, like those types of guys. And I'm not, maybe they hit home runs with both of them, and Pierce and Walker are going to do that. But that's a weird, for me, that's a reach to be like, okay, we need these guys to be already like maybe all pro type, Pro Bowl type players already. Like that to me. So that's my biggest question. And then I think the offensive side,
I mean, there's my biggest question.
Yeah.
It all comes down to what are you getting out of Michael Penix?
Yeah, and he played really well
as
a starter last year. I think, did he get 3 starts? It was like 3, 4, or 5 starts, something, right? After
3 of them.
Yeah. And I don't think he lost.
I would have to double check, but
yeah, I don't think so. But like, maybe he did. But when I was thinking back of it,
this team was also 6-3 early in the year last year.
Yeah, like this isn't a bad team. I like the fact that him and Drake London seem to have a good connection in the games. Like, I think that's super important. I don't want to say this as an official take. I think this could be a good Kyle Pitts year.
Oh, no.
Like, it kind of,
no.
I know. I don't, but I'm going to just speak out of my, my heart and my brain and what it's telling me. I think it could be the year where finally fantasy owners are.
You heard it here first from MJ. Kyle Pitts, first 3 rounds. Get him while he's hot.
Top 5 tight end in fantasy. In fantasy.
There's not a ton of great fantasy tight ends.
That might be a little rich. Maybe not top 5. But I think he's actually going to have. People, I think when you look at the Falcons, everybody's like, well, Penix is kind of an unknown. Like, they still have Bijan Robinson in a really, really good offensive line. Like, that offensive line is a top 10 offensive line in the league. So I like this team. To me, it all leans on Penix. I think there's going to be a little too much up and down in his true rookie season.
Yeah.
Like, I really think so. I have them winning 8 games. 8 and 9, I think, is fair.
4th easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah. A lot of these teams in the South have relatively easier schedules.
You say that now, and it's like there's enough flex in the NFL from year to year that the 4th easiest schedule at the start of the year can easily become like the 7th hardest in a hurry. Do you also, totally off topic, well, not totally off topic, but weird question. Do you ever have the urge to call Bijan Robinson Dijon Robinson?
No.
that every time I see his name, I'm like, I just want to call him Dijon.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. They rhyme. You know.
It's dumb. It's dumb. Oh, where do we want to go next? Do you want to go Saints?
Let's get the Saints done.
Okay.
Let's get the Saints done. I got a lot of, not a lot, but like, I think this is going to be relatively short and sweet. This defense is very old for being so young. Like, they have Cam Jordan still. Demario Davis has been in the league. I believe they still have Chase Young. Like, he's
kind of forgot about that guy.
But besides that, like 3 or 4 older guys, this is a really young defense. The veteran in the secondary is, I think, Justin Reed, the safety. And then it's Kool-Aid McKinstry is their most experienced, and this is his 2nd year in the league. He's 22 years old.
He's young.
Like when I was looking at this, this was the first team on our pod when I was preparing where I had to look up guys and be like, who is that? What college did he go to? Like when was he drafted? And it was just young guy after young guy. I don't think this defense is going to be very good. I think they're at least a year or two away. They lost to Debo to the Giants, Lattimore to the Commanders. Like, I don't love this. And then on the offensive side of the ball, I feel very bad for Alvin Kamara. And I can't believe there hasn't been more rumblings of him wanting out. Because if I was him, like, why not try to go to a team that's going to compete? Because I don't think this is – like, is Rattler your quarterback? Is the Tyler Shogue kid from Louisville going to be a starter? Like –
they're at best short-term replacements.
I don't know. Man, I just really don't know what this team is. I feel bad for Chris Olave. I feel bad for Cam Jordan. I feel bad for Kamara.
Hey, but your boy's at the helm now.
Oh, Kellen Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
He's your guy.
No. I don't wish any hurt on him, I guess. Like, I hope he does well, but, like, to me, I haven't seen a quarterback that's going to win you games. Rattler, I think, was like 0 and something last year, and I know
6, I believe.
Yeah, Chris Olave missed time last year too, which is a big.
That's the note the thing I put down was that he was out before those games. That most of them that Spencer Rattler was.
I even think Rashid Shaheed, I think, missed some time last year. I don't know if that was during the Rattler starts or not, but like this is a team that's in a rebuild. They got to try to find their way. I have them winning 3 games.
Yeah, I was shocked to see their over-under was 6.5.
To me, that's a hard under.
Yeah.
Like, you just hammer it. You telling me that team gets to 7 wins?
I
don't beat that. I don't know. And maybe their schedules, when I looked at the schedule, it seemed just as rough or easy as the other teams, but I just don't see a lot of wins for the Saints this year. I really, really don't. And I feel bad for some of the older guys because, those guys are kind of stuck and they just got to try to compete in some games. I think max 5 wins. I could see this team going 0 and whatever for a while.
Yeah. And they're still in, I know we mentioned that like the salary cap is fake. It is fake, but like there's something with it. Like, you can't be unless you're a genius and like unless you're the Eagles, but like they've got some cap space this year, but they're in the hole next year, $24 million. So like they're trying to reset this team. Like there's no doubt about it because when you get to 2027, the cap opens wide open for them, and God knows what the actual number will move to by that point. So I mean, this just is a team they're not set up to win this year.
I don't think so either. And to me, it's like let's win 2, 3, 4 games, see what we got out of the Shogue kid maybe. And if you want to start Rattler to begin the year, maybe surprises people. But they don't know who their starting quarterback is at this moment on the week of August 14th or 12th or whenever it is. Like I don't think they know. And to me, it's like, let's get a top 3 draft pick and maybe Manning from Texas balls out and you just go another rookie and, you bring the Manning family back to New Orleans.
To Nolans.
Yep. Maybe that's what you do and just see what you can do and go from there.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think there's anything. I think it's a team in transition and they're gonna struggle and their upside may be 6 wins. I mean, I think if you get that, if you can find 6.5, hammer that.
Yeah,
under.
The Panthers, right?
Yeah, this team intrigues me a little bit.
Me too, man. This was to me, like, this is a team that's still like a year or 2 away, and that sucks.
Yes.
As like a Panthers semi fan, like they're kind of one of my teams that I hung on to. Lived in Charlotte for a year, but like. I even liked them like growing up with like Jake Delhomme and Steve Smith and all those guys back then.
always remember Chris Berman. Daylight coming, me wanna tell 'em.
Yeah, no, man. Like Musha Muhammad was, the receiver for them back in those days, and the Davis. Was it Thomas Davis? Was the running back, or Steven Davis?
Was it Steven?
I think Thomas Davis was a linebacker.
They damn near won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, and then they had a really good year with Cam Newton. What,
2015?
Yeah, when they went 15-1, and we're in the Super Bowl. Like
Greg Olsen.
This is I think this is a relatively decent franchise for being kind of like a smaller city type feel to it. I think this all just boils down to Bryce Young. In the defense. Like, if the defense can improve, I like the D tackle they brought in from the Chiefs. Derek Brown, I think, is a really underrated defensive tackle in the league. J.C. Horn's a stud. I loved him coming out of college when they drafted him. I thought he was really, really good. They brought in the Morig safety from the Raiders. But to me, it's just one of those things where it's like, did they really improve that drastically to really help out the offense? And to me, it's like a little bit, if you think of our conversations in the past with the Cowboys, where it's, can they stop the run enough and slow down teams so they're not constantly putting Bryce Young in the offense in situations where everybody knows you have to pass the majority of the time. And
that's not the situation you want a young quarterback in.
Yeah, and I think, has he improved, and did they improve? Yes, I think he's taken a step in the right direction. You just hate, if you're a Panthers fan, going into this season being like, all right, well, the defense has to kind of improve a little bit. We got to still try to run, and Hubbard had a good year last year for him. They bring in Rico Dowdle, the running back from Dallas, to kind of back him up. So their running back room's okay. Their wide receivers are kind of young with Tet McMillan and the Xavier Legette. They got the old veteran and Adam Thielen. There's some pieces there. Even Tremble, I think it is, the wide receiver, Tommy Tremble, is a relatively decent tight end. They have some pieces on offense. It just all falls back to, can they stop enough teams and put Bryce Young in situations where he doesn't have to just go out and win it right now? Because he's had some success. You don't want him to take a step backwards just because they're overthrowing it, because they're behind. He's getting hit more because the pass rush is coming. He's throwing some interceptions because he's having to throw it in tighter windows and stuff. So to me, I think this team improves from last year. What was their record last year?
They were, sorry, let me get back to it. 5-12, right?
Yeah. Okay, so it's not a big improvement, but I have them at 6-11. And I put next to that possibly a year away to being a little bit even more in the talks of maybe a division title and such.
I think they need some more pieces to go around Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I also think it's not like a make or break year for Bryce Young, but
no,
it's kind of a show me what you're going to be, and we can decide how we build this team out going forward.
Yes.
It can be a break here. If he's just awful, I think they could move their way towards moving off him. But if he just shows some progress, builds on what he did at the end of last year, and kind of gives them a roadmap to be like, okay, this is the kind of receiver we need. We need to be heavier on the run game, because that's where, if we can set you up off the run, and hey, every team loves to get set up off the run, but do we really have to go heavy and spend our resources there? Or can, a decent run game get us there and we can kind of spend some resources elsewhere? So I think this is in kind of a show me what you got season for the Panthers in general.
Yeah.
Show us what the next step is. Let us figure out what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are. And I'm very interested in just seeing where this goes. I'm very interested in seeing Bryce Young. I don't know if I ever said it on the pod, but internally, I remember I'm in a 2-quarterback fantasy league, and I had the choice of Bryce Young and I just completely blanked, the Texans guy. Why can't I think of him?
CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud, thank you. And I was like, I think Bryce Young's the guy. I think Bryce Young's going to be one. And wow, was I wrong for fantasy for those first couple years. But I I'm still interested to see what Bryce Young can do.
Yeah, I think, like, for me, it just comes down to, let's say they just win 6 games. Let's say I nail this. If he just plays average to good in the majority of the games, let's say 80 to 90% of them, and goes out and just steals because of him, he makes plays, maybe let's say fourth quarter drive, leads to a game-winning field goal, maybe throws a late touchdown to win a game or something. If he can just do that like 2 or 3 times and get to 6, maybe 7 wins, then it's like, okay, all right, we got it. But if he has games, if he has 5, 6 games where he's bad, and then 3 or 4 games where he just plays okay, then it's like, oh boy, what are we going to do? Now we have to make a decision. Are we going to go forward with this, or are we going to start thinking about maybe a backup plan here?
Yeah.
So,
because I think 7 wins would be a pretty successful year for them.
Really good, I think. Really good. 7-10. Yeah, I think that'd be incredible for that team.
Yep.
So,
right.
Not a lot of changes from last year in the NFC South.
No, it's funny. It's like the NFC South has kind of remained the same. I think most of the years we've done this.
Yeah, kind of. I do remember like 2 years ago we were like, let's flip a coin and just...
Yeah, this league sucks.
Yeah.
All right, AFC South then. Just a quick refresher from last year. Texans 10-7, Colts 8-9, Jags 4-13, Titans 3-14. One thing to point out, which made this kind of a rough division to watch, nobody averaged more than 22 points per game in this division. The Colts led the division in scoring, and they were the 17th best team in the NFL.
Wow.
So it was a tough league to watch aesthetically.
Yes. Let's start with the team that I think is going to make the most improvement in this division.
Okay.
I think that's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Duval.
Oh, God. That's so gross.
What a weirdo.
So, you know that I am not a big fan of the love of Trevor Lawrence and the love of Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, for some reason, those two quarterbacks have gotten a pass for 5+ years now. Like, everybody
Is Herbert
just
that old?
Well, Lawrence was what, 2020?
Yeah, Lawrence is older. Oh, Justin Herbert's 27.
That's what I'm saying. It's been a good 5 years. Like,
yeah, it's been 5 years for Justin Herbert.
Yeah. So to me, it's like 2019. I think was Lawrence, right?
Yeah, let me pull him up.
And I don't mean to drag Justin Herbert into any negativity because I don't think they're bad quarterbacks. It's just, to me, it's like we hate so much on guys like Dak Prescott, even
Lawrence is
Hurts.
younger, actually. I thought it was the other way around.
Okay. Jalen Hurts gets a lot of like hate from some people. Like, it's well, he's just a runner. He can't pass the ball. Like all these things. But those guys win.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert haven't done anything in this league.
Yeah,
they
Trevor
really
Lawrence
haven't.
Went 9-8 in his second year, 8-8 in his third year, which was when everyone was like, "This is
the year.
This is the guy. Like this is the deer he takes and jump." He had some injuries last year, right?
I think so. Yeah, which he has a few times, but
yep.
Like, so this was exactly what I wrote.
Shoulder.
Trevor Lawrence, like he's been very middle of the pack to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think I'd put him in a top 15 conversation most years that he's been in the league. Like, yes, does he have all the talent, just like a Justin Herbert and just like those guys? But like, at the end of the day, like, you're supposed to be this great quarterback that we're paying $250 million to over a course of how many years, and you're not elevating a team. And I get that, like, you need guys around you. You need an offensive line. You need a run game. You need a defense. Like, and good teams do that. But to me, it's not like, I think guys like Dak Prescott, Baker Mayfield, a Jaden Daniels last year, those guys have shown that they can take an average to above average teams and elevate them a little bit to get to 11, 12, 13 wins in a season. I haven't seen that from Lawrence, but I do think the team around him is a little bit better. than he's had. I really like ETN, even though I think
defense of Lawrence here a little bit. This will be his third head coach.
Yes, which plays a big factor. But I was gonna, we picked on Cohen there a little bit with the Duval thing, but like I do think like he helped out Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. I think he could be really good for Trevor Lawrence, and that's kind of what I'm leaning into a little bit. I love the addition of Travis Hunter. I don't know how you feel. I think he gets a lot of like, I don't want to say hate, but almost like a bad taste in everybody's mouth because of like Deion Sanders and Shador and stuff.
He's like guilty by association with the Sanders stuff.
Like I think Hunter's incredible. I loved him coming out. Like I really want him to be like this crazy two-way player in the league. Like I'm cheering really hard for him. I think he's incredible. I do think he's going to get more snaps at wide receiver to begin and kind of work in some corner stuff. And just things that I've seen in like training camp and preseason, it does seem to like kind of lean that way. Like it's like 75% of the time he's taking more wide receiver stuff.
Okay.
But I think he helps both sides of the ball. I don't think it's out of the question of offensive and defensive rookie of the year options here. I think he's going to be an immediate impact. I think the ground game in Jacksonville could be good. Defensively, like
before you switch over to defense, let me make a Oh, never mind. That's a dumb stat. They said if he does a 75-25 split, that would be more workload than Justin Jefferson in 2024 plus Jair Alexander. But Jair Alexander was hurt all year, so that was the dumbest thing ever. So the Athletic does need you over there, MJ, because somebody decided to put a stat in about
what was it like the percentage of snaps or something.
So if you project out that Travis Hunter plays 75% of the offensive snaps, 25% of the defensive, that would be more than the workload of Justin Jefferson plus Jair Alexander. But Jair was hurt all year, so like that's the dumbest stat ever.
Yeah, I don't like that. And
I started reading it, and I was like, oh yeah, I made note of this, and then I like read it aloud. You know the thing, like you read something in your head and you don't catch it, and then as soon as you start saying it aloud, you're like, oh my god, this is stupid.
Yeah.
So just
reaching a little bit there.
Yeah, they were really reaching for something.
But I like this team, man. Brian Thomas Jr. is like quietly so good. I'm excited for his second year in the league, and to put somebody like Travis Hunter on the other side or in the slot with him, man, like there's just it just comes back to there's no excuse for Trevor Lawrence, I don't think. Like I think there's just as good quarterbacks with less receivers that were like, hey, that could be good. Like we just talked about Bryce Young. Like you think Xavier Legette and Tet McMillan and Adam Thielen, are those better than Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter? And
I don't think
so. So to me, it's like nobody would say Trevor Lawrence is worse than Bryce Young. So let's not give Trevor Lawrence a pass here. Like he needs to improve this year. I do have them making a big jump from last year, though. I think they're a 9-win team this year.
Okay. Their over-under is currently 7.5.
Yeah. I like the over there for the Jags. Like I think this is a year where the other couple teams that we're going to talk about aren't very good. The schedule's not like daunting. I think there's going to be some highs and lows, but I think this is a team that's like maybe has an outside chance of being in playoff contention, but probably doesn't quite get there.
Yeah. I mean, you get to play the Colts and the Titans twice, so.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go next?
Let's go to the Colts and Titans.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one do you want to go with?
Let's do the Colts, because they're in a rough spot.
Yep. I don't love this team.
I mean,
nothing against the Colts. I just don't like them as like being good.
Yeah, they're rolling out Daniel Jones.
Yep.
By all accounts, right?
Well,
I mean,
that's the first thing.
Done.
First thing I wrote: quarterback on my little list here. Like Richardson dislocated his pinky finger, right, in preseason.
Yeah.
So he's going to be out for a while, I would assume. At least
out indefinitely is the verbiage I saw.
Yeah, I don't know if like that's like. Do you think that's an injury that keeps him out more than like 2 months? I think so. but like 2 months, maybe.
That pinky is.
It's important. Oh,
it's
yeah.
critical.
Yeah, I know. But like it's just dislocated. I didn't see anything about like broken ligaments or maybe there is. Maybe there's more. But
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how fast he comes back. There's been, questions about his heart, toughness, grit, whatever you want to call it.
Like, to me, it just comes down to they brought in Daniel Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I think by now we know what Daniel Jones is.
If we don't, I think that's our fault.
And I don't know if it's a New York problem. I just think that's who Daniel Jones is. And, like, now you're throwing him out in Indianapolis. And the fact that, like, I think in somewhat, if we really were being honest with ourselves, it's sort of an upgrade from Anthony Richardson of what we've seen from him.
I'm not very high on Anthony Richardson. So
neither am I at this point.
I don't think they're losing too much.
So to me, it's like, okay, we just.
And hey, here's the positive spin on it. If you're a Colts fan, like we've seen this happen before. Like guy struggles in his first spot, high draft pick, doesn't really get it right, gets some luck of the draw. Second opportunity, he comes in, somebody goes down with an injury, and all of a sudden he proves himself that he's can be an NFL starter again. And, in this scenario, he'd do a year here. They come back. Anthony Richardson's back. He's played so well early on that it, leaves quarterback questions for the rest of the year. And, the Colts want to stick with their, young first round pick on a rookie contract. And they, ship Daniel Jones elsewhere and he finds a spot for himself. In this year, it's good for the Colts. Do I think that's likely? No, but it's happened before.
I'm going to sound like a hater here on the Ole Walls House podcast. I think this team sucks.
I don't think they're very good either. I think they're going to win some dumb games that you wouldn't think they will.
Let me give you a positive. I think defensively they're okay. Like I think they're okay. I really like DeForest Buckner. I know he's getting older. The linebacker room is okay. They got some guys that are like beat up. I really, really like their defensive line. Like I mentioned DeForest Buckner. I really like the Latu from UCLA in his second year, man. I really think he could end up being the second best player in the draft from a year ago.
All righty.
And Kwity Paye's at the other defensive end. I think they're young. I think they can get after quarterbacks. I think their secondary's improved. I think if you bring in Charvarius Ward to any secondary, it gets better. I feel bad for Jonathan Taylor. But the defense, I think, is going to be okay. As long as they can stay healthy, I think the defense is okay. And you never know. Like you said, maybe Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate and they're running all over people. You got Quentin Nelson at guard and you're just running right up his ass. No pun intended.
I mean, that's the formula.
Yeah. They have receivers too. Like it's kind of there if you're a Colts fan. But to me, it's like Daniel Jones, like Anthony Richardson. Is that, I don't know.
You're not winning. You're not winning consistently and long term with either of those guys, I don't think.
5-12.
Yeah, I get behind that.
Yeah. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
They're projected at 7.5 wins. I think under's pretty safe there. I mean, for this team to win 8 games.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I don't know ball. I don't know. Who knows here? Maybe I don't know. But I feel like I've been wrong, but I've also been right a lot. I think I'm going to be right on this one. I don't think the Colts are going to do shit.
I'd be pretty comfortable with an under 7.5 bet on these guys.
Yeah.
And even if they did rip off and be like 3-3 to start the year, I would still feel pretty comfortable with an under 7.5 bet.
Yep. I feel bad. That was a lot of Daniel Jones and Richardson hate, but you got to show me, man. You know how I do.
That's the way it is sometimes.
Yep. You got to show me.
You're a quarterback. You're going to get talked about the most, and if you don't deliver, you don't deliver. So,
yep.
Titans.
All right. My second favorite team.
Cam Ward seems to be the man this year.
There's no other option. There's no other option here. Brandon Allen, it's your backup quarterback. He's been in the league as a backup, third stringer. He's not it. This is
How long has he been around?
This is Cam Ward's team, man. That's it. Listen, I don't mind this team. Cam Ward, Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, good running back room. Offensive line was a disaster last year to me. They could not protect whether it was Will Levis or whoever. They just couldn't do anything. The running game hurt because of it. And I like Tony Pollard. I think he's a very solid running back in the league. He had some good moments. I really like Calvin Ridley, even in his time.
Tony Pollard. Yeah, they love subbing him out on the goal line.
Well, yeah, but he's kind of undersized. It's not really his game. But
I know, but
yeah. It's frustrating for fantasy.
25 carries, buck 25, 0 touchdowns.
Yeah. And then the backup has 3 carries, 2 touchdowns, 5 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those situations. They did bring in a couple of guys on the offensive line to try and, they went out and made some moves to try, they identified a weakness and tried to do something for it.
And, I like the Seitler, the guard from the Lions. I think that was a good pickup. Skoronski, the other guard there, I think he's a guard. Cushenberry, I think, and this is the second year with some new coaches there as well. I think this team could be okay. Who's their head coach right now? Why can't I think of it?
Brian Callahan.
Okay, yes. So, I think this is his second year.
You could put him in the third box on this podcast right now, and I wouldn't have a clue who he was if he wasn't wearing a name tag. We would just be like,
hey, coach.
How you doing, pal? Who are you?
Yeah, tell us more about your team, and then we could get an idea of what team he coached.
Yeah. How do you think the boys are going to do this year?
Yeah. Defensively, man, I'm a little worried for their defense, and that's where I think this team is really going to struggle.
What I've been reading about a little bit? He keeps popping up. Javaris Brownlee Jr.
Okay,
the cornerback. I've read a couple different articles recently, and this athletic one that I've got up here as I'm using as kind of a guide today has him in again. I'm like, that's the third or fourth time I've seen this guy mentioned.
Really?
This offseason.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who that is. I'm really sorry.
I know who
I'll be
he
honest
is now.
With the viewers.
I know who he is now, but this is kind of my point to it. It's I couldn't remember him from last year.
Yeah.
And I keep seeing his name, and I'm like, man, why do we love this guy? But he led the team in snaps played. He had a lot of penalties last year, but they seem to get him on the field all the time. So I was wondering if you had more of a handle on who the guy was, because I don't. And I this is the third or fourth article I've read. This season previews that are look out for Javaris Brownlee Jr. And I'm like, who?
So I know a lot of NFL players, and most of that comes from how much I love the draft. And I don't know. So I wrote down 3 names on their defense, which is one of the least that I have, because I try to do some key players that I'm excited about or I think could really help or maybe not. But I wrote down Jeffrey Simmons, who I think is really, really good. I think he's their best defensive player. Arden Key was another one. Then I have Amani Hooker and Xavier Woods, former Cowboy. To me, it's from what I saw that they lost compared to what they brought in, never really showed me okay, they improved there. Mm-hmm. They lost to Awuzie, another former Cowboy at corner. There's just some guys that I saw left in free agency or were traded, and then I kind of compared it to the guys that brought in. I'm like, well, they didn't really get better by doing that. They just had to fill those spots with some veteran guys and stuff, which is fine. But to me, it's the Titans defense didn't really get much better. Did the offense get much better? To me, this is a team that's 5-12.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think would be the worst thing in the world.
No, I don't think so either. If they're going to steal a few games, they're going to. against some teams like
everybody does in the NFL. Like,
yeah.
You're going to get one you didn't think.
Yeah, it's going to be
5.5 is their win total.
Week something, and they're going to be going into Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's like a 6.5 point favorite, and all of a sudden Tennessee upsets them. Like, when they were going to be like, well, there it is. There's one of those games that just doesn't really make sense, and
I feel like the Titans are going to live in I like to, me and a buddy, Matt Waiter, friend of the program, like to do a 3 to 4 team underdog parlay every week. Just throw $5 in. So it's $5 wins you $300 or something like that. And we usually whack one a year.
Oh yeah.
And it's it makes the whole year, it pays for the whole year. And there've been years where we haven't, but we usually sneak one out. And it just gives you some extra fun rooting things, and I can just see the Titans being on this list. And the catch is most of the teams you have to pick are underdogs every week anyway. So you just keep picking the same teams over and over, and just they're underdogs like that for a reason. So you're just watching them blow games in the most frustrating ways. But I feel like the Titans might be one of those teams that makes a repeated appearance on that list for me.
I don't think this isn't a Jaden Daniels situation where I think Cam Ward's going to come in and just change a bunch. But I like what I've seen and read from the Cam Ward camp in Tennessee. I think this is going to be a quarterback that's going to have some really good moments, but I just don't know if he's surrounded enough yet. So 5-12, I think, is fair.
Yeah, I got no complaints there. I'm interested to see where we are with this team, MJ. The Houston Texans.
Yep.
I believe you were a little down on them last year.
Yeah, and I was right.
And you were right.
Yeah. And it all comes down for me for the same thing this year. I don't know if they can protect CJ Stroud. And coming out of college, I really thought CJ was a better runner than a lot of people gave him credit for. And he hasn't really done that in the league. I was kind of wrong about that. And I was higher on CJ Stroud than Bryce Young. And I'm really happy that he's become, but he had a down year last year. But I think that really started with up front.
He was running for his life. Yeah.
And he hasn't shown me the ability to really be that, I don't want to call it Lamar Jackson, because he's not that great of an athlete, but he can move, but he just doesn't really choose to. Sometimes he can hold on to the ball a little bit, but when you're being pressured, you get a little skittish. Every quarterback ever, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, all those guys. So to me, I'm still worried. I have to see it from the offensive line.
It's a totally new offensive line.
Yeah. Well, Tunsil's in Washington.
Yeah. Took his gas mask with him.
Yeah. They're a little younger. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I might be wrong.
They signed 4 veterans, I'm reading, including Cam Robinson. Okay. I remember Cam Robinson. Yeah. Then they signed or drafted second round. I'm not even going to try and say that name.
It's I know who you're talking about. Starts with an E.
Yes.
Oh,
or Siri, maybe.
Yeah. He's got a weird first name, right?
Yeah. The last name's not so much the problem. It's the first name.
Yep. So to me, it's you gave up a lot of sacks last year. I want to say one of the top teams in the league overall.
Only one other quarterback got sacked more. He got sacked 52 times.
That's just too much, man. And I get it. Maybe some injuries at wide receiver. Tank Dell went down last year.
Yep.
With a kind of a graphic injury, right?
Yes. Yeah. Very.
Yeah. So I love Nico Collins, even though he's from Michigan. I love Tank Dell, but maybe this is a year where Christian Kirk finally has a good year. I know he had a good year in Jacksonville a couple years ago. John Mechie maybe steps up finally out of Alabama and becomes.
Feels like that's a piece that needs to do something for this team to get better than the 10 wins they had last year.
They still have Dalton Schultz, who's a reasonably good tight end. Cade Stover's there. They brought in Nick Chubb, maybe a little backup. And, I think I'll say this with the Nick Chubb thing. If you're Dameon Pierce, your time in Houston's probably just about done.
I would think so.
Yeah, and I think they drafted a running back or two in the draft.
Woody Marks in the 4th round.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. But, like, to me, it's like, okay, we're going to bring Nick Chubb in on a deal.
And Joe Mixon is on a contract here.
Yeah, and I think this is Mixon's backfield. Like, he's going to get 80 to 85% of the carries. I love their receiver room. Running back room's good. The quarterback, I think, is good. To me, it's just the upfront. And I think defensive side of the ball, I really like this team. Anderson.
I was going to say, they were okay last year.
Yeah. I love Will Anderson. Daniil Hunter's there. Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle. Derek Stingley Jr.
A stud.
And we talked about this last week. You can say what you will about him. I really like CJ Gardner-Johnson, man. Like the toughness that he brings. I like him a lot. I think this defense is going to be pretty good. It's just, to me, it's up front. So my surprise in this division is that they actually tie the Jaguars at 9-8.
Hey.
Now, I do think this team has, to me, a higher ceiling than the Jags. Like, I think this could be a 10-11 win team. But I do think there's going to be some struggles here and there for the offensive line and the run game. And CJ Stroud might still be sacked 45-plus times. And maybe not. And if he doesn't, this team's going to be really good. But I think they win it with a tiebreaker at 9-8. That's what I'm going with here.
I see them winning double-digit games again.
Okay.
I could see a slow start. Like we said, almost an entirely new offensive line. But I just think CJ Stroud is a damn good quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think Joe Mixon is going to play, be playing for, one last deal in the NFL. So I think he's going to be busting his balls. Like you said, there's some decent receivers, and I think the defense is solid, and it's a bad division.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting 4 games against the Jags and the Titans, 6 games against the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans.
Yep.
Like, they're going to be, winnable moments in games that they probably shouldn't be winning against those teams. Like, they're going to play a game that, had they been playing a better team, they would have gotten beat, but it's going to come down to the end of the game, and they're going to need to, either just make a drive to go kick a field goal or score a touchdown to win a game they shouldn't have been, or they're going to have the ball and just have to bleed the clock out. And it's like the other team's going to look back at the day and be like, we should have won that football game if they don't.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to turn a couple losses into wins just based on the competition.
I think if you're a Texans fan, you have to think you must go 5-1 in your division.
Yeah.
You have to. Like, you got to get 5 wins from your division. If you can get 6-0, it'd be fantastic. But if you go 5-1 and you can just get 4, 5, 6 more wins in your other however many, like, you're going to be, if you can go 6-6 in the rest of the league, now you're sitting at 11 wins. You're going to have a home playoff game because you won your division. Like, now you never know. Playoff time.
Because they do have to play the Bills and the Chiefs this year.
Yeah, tough ones.
Bills at home, Chiefs on the road. I mean, Kansas City, December 7th at 7:20. So that's what, Sunday? That's Sunday night. Sunday night football. It's going to be cold and windy probably, so it's going to be a brutal, situation playing. So you got to make hay where the sun shines, and that's in your division. If it's anything less than 4 wins in the division, it's a complete failure.
Yeah,
and 4 is not ideal.
No. I think you have to get 5 in that one. Maybe you split one with the Jags or, something like that. But, yeah, this is one of my least favorite divisions in the league. Not that I hate any of these teams, but I just don't – they're all kind of – they got some big question marks for me.
Yes.
This division. Like, it was even going NFC South had some big questions – but it was almost like, okay, I kind of almost know some answers to that one.
It seems like there's more of a roadmap.
Yeah.
There, it's like when we talked about Bryce Young, it's like, okay, the roadmap is we just got to see what we need to do for him going forward. Like, the question is, what do we do? But, like, we know it's a very focused thing. It's like, this is going to give us our results. It's like, you look at the Colts and you're like, what's the question?
Yeah.
Like, there's problems, but, like, where, how many? What are we doing? Like, are we going to get a new quarterback? Are we going with Anthony Richardson post-injury? Like, what's going on? At least with the Panthers, it's like, okay, we're finding out what we got with Bryce Young. And if it's workable, they go with him and they set the team up around him. If not, they move on. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't feel like the Colts are there with Richardson.
And it's
they're
like,
not deep enough into the contract. There's talks that they've been real high on him internally. It's like, what is going on?
And even if you look at a team like the Falcons, like, that roadmap a little bit too.
Yep.
It's like, all right, rookie year for Penix, even though it's his second year. But like, hey, we're moving forward with
and you
this.
got 2 more years on the rookie contract after this. So
and then,
just show us something and we'll put the resources in to try and do something before we have to pay you.
And then it's like the Bucs. You're like, okay, we want to be NFC
we gotta go
title game contenders. Like, that's what they're looking at. And then it's like, then the Saints, it's like total rebuild. You kind of know what's kind of expected.
They all seem to have a defined path.
Where this one, it's like, well, Texans are supposed to be good, but can they protect? Can they still be relatively good on defense? I think the Texans is
the one with the least questions.
Yeah.
And even that, it's like, okay, but where are we doing it? How exactly are we doing it? And hey, maybe after this year, you'd be like, okay, they knew more than maybe we thought.
And then it's,
but
the
like other
teams
in and maybe not even so much the Titans, but the Colts and the Jags, it's like, what's going on? What are we doing? Like, I would not want to be a fan of one of those franchises right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Colts have a lot of questions, especially with quarterback, but like with the Jags, it comes down to quarterback, and do you have weapons around him? What's Travis Hunter going to be like? What's Brian Thomas Jr.'s second year look like? How's the defense? Like, defense, is it going to be average? Is it going to surprise some people? Is Trevor Lawrence going to take a next step? Because I think he needs to. Like, there's a lot of if, ands, and buts in this division.
Yep. I agree. MJ, that was a good one, buddy. We did it. This was, and I always think to myself, this is probably the division I'm least in. These 2 divisions are the 2 I'm least interested in every year. So we got through it. I think we put some good stuff out there.
I think you got no wild card teams from these divisions. I think it's just division winners.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Now we go out west.
I was going to say we head west, young man, next week.
Yeehaw.
AFC and NFC West. Should be some fun discussions in those.
We're getting to some heavier hitters, I think.
Yeah. And then we finalize it all up with the North. The AFC North will be very interesting. I'll be ranting about my Packers when we talk the NFC North.
Hell yeah.
We got a couple fun ones coming up, I think. So
excited, man. I'm so excited.
I just as there was a moment today when we were talking, and I was like, God damn, I am excited for football.
Football's back, man. Yeah. It's back.
I always get to this point of the year, and I'm like so torn because it's like I am ready for, especially like this year, like it's been so hot, it's been so humid. It's like I'm ready for the weather to just cool down a little bit. I'm ready for fall. I'm ready for football. And I always have to like tell myself, I'm like, dude, summer is like 4 months long.
Yeah.
Like, don't wish it away just yet.
I know. I'm the same boat, man. I got to go for a run after this, and it's like 90 degrees out. It's going to be rough, but we'll get it. It's all right. Hey, real quick, can I plug something?
Yeah, do it.
I'm not going to give away who it is, but if you're a fan of Ole Walls House podcast, check out my podcast, Full Range Podcast. Drops on Thursdays. I got a very special guest, at least in our friendship group. And
I heard you plugging a guest.
Really excited about this one.
And I'm very intrigued.
Very excited. Now, for like the general public that listen to your show and my show, I'm excited for everybody to know this person and to understand like what he does and everything. So I'm super excited to have our guest. So if you're looking for another podcast, check us out at the Full Range Podcast on every Thursday. Every Thursday.
Excuse me. I don't want to know. Don't be telling me.
I'm not going to tell
offline or anything.
I won't.
You said something there that made me. I might have gotten. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, check him out, MJ. The full. Now I almost said the Ole Walls House podcast. MJ, the Full Range Podcast, Spotify and on the Ole Walls House YouTube channel.
Let's go.
Go check him out, people. Time for some passing thoughts. I won't take too long with all this. Big episode already from MJ and I, so I'll just kind of hit on some quick things here. First off, let's start with my Cleveland Guardians. My Cleveland Guardians are just a half game back of the New York Yankees for the final wild card position. They are playing right now and have given up 2 runs in the bottom of the first to the dreadful Chicago White Sox. So hopefully we can figure that out. Sosa hit a homer already, 2-run blast to start the day. So not ideal. But the Yankees are losing currently as well to the Houston Astros. So if the Guards can figure this out against the White Sox today and the Astros can beat up on the Yankees for us, Cleveland would be back in the wild card proper. I guess you could say back in the wild card, the last position. They've also, got the lead in the Central down to 5 games. I believe that had gotten up to as many as 11. They'd fallen back to 4th in the division. But I saw a stat yesterday that I think they're 23-7 since July 7th. That's the best record in baseball in that time frame. Now, granted, it's against opponents who are not great, but that's what you got to do. You got to win the games you're supposed to. So when you play the tougher teams, things are, going to be tougher. So beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Swept the Mets this week. That's good. Took 2 or 3 from the Twins. That was good. Back to taking 2 or 3 from the Rockies. And, then we're going back a little ways. But, the opportunities are there. Coming up, we got the Marlins and the Braves. The Braves are on a slide. They're not a very good team this year. They're just beat up, and it's just not going well for them. The Marlins are okay. So, those are winnable games. And then it's the Diamondbacks after that. Again, not a great team. Under 500, 56-61. Not having their best year. Then the Rangers. So, there's, again, Rangers. Nothing special, 60-58. That's the next 2 weeks again here. Before you get to the Tampa Bay Rays, who've been on the absolute slide. They're only won 3 of their last 10. They're under 500. There's, and then, the Mariners, who are actually pretty solid. Yeah, the Mariners. So, you got 4 series. What is that? Marlins, Braves, Diamondbacks, Rangers, Rays. 5 or 6. I can't losing count. 5 or 6 series until you get to a team that's pretty solid. It's it's there, man. You got to make hay this month. Again, you made hay in July. Keep making it in August. And this is doable. This is 100% doable. The Tigers have been sliding. I don't know what the Tigers are doing today. They're up 3-0 out in they're hosting Los Angeles. They're not in Los Angeles. So it's going to be a lot to make up those 5 games against the Tigers. I think they just kind of went through a rough stretch a little bit here while the Guards have been going through a better stretch. But the wild card's right there. And like I said, just a half game back of the Yankees in the wild card, but only 3 back of the Red Sox and the Mariners. And they've got those guys in back-to-back series, very end of August and start of September. So, again, doable. Wednesday, the big rig, Gavin Williams, went 8 2/3. 8 2/3 hitless. Finally gave up a single hit in the 9th inning, and they brought somebody else in. Hunter Gaddis came in and closed out that game. But yeah, God, I don't know. I'm excited, but at the same time, it's man, we've been just beaten up on bad competition. You got to do this against somebody that matters, and we'll see. Speaking of, we'll see. I haven't even really sat down to watch the golf yet today. I was just doing the pod with MJ, but I see Tommy Fleetwood is in for it yet again. We're through 4 holes. Scotty Scheffler's through 4 holes now. Young Thomas Fleetwood is gone the 3rd. He's got 46 feet to the hole. Let me see his shot details. Was that? Did he make it? Did he make birdie? I can't tell. This app sucks. Fourth shot, 45 feet, 10 inches. Did that go 45 feet, 10 inches? I can't stand the PGA Tour. No, 23 inches hole. So he made par. He's going to make par on the third hole. So he's tied with Scotty Scheffler. He's one over on the day. Scotty Scheffler's one under. And Tommy Fleetwood is in for another battle to try and claim his first tour win. JJ Spawn, Justin Rose, just one back at 12 under right now. Akshay Bhatia at 11. Andrew Novak trying to save himself some Ryder Cup spots. And Cam Young coming up the board a little bit to try and keep his name up there in the Ryder Cup discussion. Chris Goddard not doing so well and keeping his name on there. Giddy up, Goddard up. So a lot to play out. So, hey, we'll talk more. I'll make sure I record some golf after next week so we can get a better idea of what everybody's looking like, what we're thinking about for Ryder Cup and things like that. But, right now we'll check out the rest of the day. Keep our eye on Scotty Scheffler and Tommy Fleetwood and see how this goes. I mean, Scotty Scheffler going out and then winning a playoff event here and being a billion points up for the year and then, just going to the Tour Championship and anybody can win it. Still nothing but hilarious to me. So we'll see. And finally, I'll just kind of end with this one. Like I said, keep this kind of relatively short so we had a long ep already. Watch WWE Unreal, the Netflix series. I enjoyed it. I'm a kind of pro wrestling nerd though, so I was gonna enjoy that no matter what. But I thought it was an interesting peek, kind of behind the scenes, and you see a lot of people talking like, "Oh, why are we doing this?" Like everybody knows that now everybody's gonna know everything. It's like, yeah, man, I knew wrestling was scripted already. Like, not a big, not a big surprise to me there. So I was good with it. I was, the personal, you're always going to get the personal look at the people. And, they follow around Bianca Blair and she makes all her own stuff. And, they're following around Cody Rhodes and all sorts of different people. And you're learning more about them personally. And, it gets you invested is the idea. I was the most interested in just watching the guys in the gorilla position and how they're talking through the match. Like, hey, we got to cut this. We got to get done. And Bruce Pritchard, the producer of the show, is like, hey, we're over time. Shut this shit down. We got to go. And, they talk about the John Cena heel turn. And Triple H doesn't even tell the camera and crews in the trucks out there, what's going on. He's like, just listen to me. He's like, we're about to do something. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Just do that. And I'll give you the heads up right before it happens. I was really intrigued with all that. I would love to just be like, okay, give me a backstage feed of when a Monday Night Raw is going on. And I'm not super invested in what's going on, but I'm just seeing them be like, okay, we got to get to this. Okay, let's get to that. That was the most interesting thing to me. And I did think I think I said this last week. I think Cody Rhodes said this on Bill Simmons' podcast, where he was like, hey, how do you know what we're showing you now still isn't part of working you? They did it with Rollins, they did it with R-Truth. Maybe we're just going to get worked in another way. I mean, if you just stay off the dirt sheets, I had no clue Brock Lesnar was coming back. There was nothing to get. This WWE Unreal is all stuff that's already happened. And hey, if you don't want to watch it, no one's forcing you to. You don't have to follow the professional wrestlers on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. You can still go at it and be like, I know nothing, which is mostly what I do. But I thought it was a good show. It wasn't groundbreaking for me. Like I said, I wasn't I knew that's roughly how things went. I know that, wrestlers talk to each other backstage and Bianca Belair is asking about hey, I made my hair extra thick this week so I get a good sound. I wasn't under the impression that they just walked out to the ring and actually hated each other. So I don't have a problem with it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. So that's what I got this week. Let's go. What do you say we wrap this up with some closing time, everybody? Again, big thank you to MJ. Thank you to all you guys who watch and listen. Thank you to producer Kevy for getting us started down the video path. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're back next week. MJ's back again for round 3. We head west to the AFC and NFC West. Some fun teams to talk about out there. Said I'll be enjoyable. Like I said, I'll give you a little bit better golf update next week. We'll keep track of where the guards are at, and we just inch ever closer to football season. It's close. It's really close. So we'll see you next week, and until then, peace.